here. And now, still in studio, again, a pleasure to welcome Oren Or Bittoun, the founder of the Trauma for Good Association, which he set up in 2018. He is an anti-terrorism undercover unit veteran of the IDF who was diagnosed with PTSD himself. Oren, thank you very much for being here. Much to discuss on the trauma front, but before we get there, given your history in terms of fighting in situations like the one my colleague Pierre was explaining right now, your assessment of the current situation. We know that fierce battles are underway inside the Gaza Strip. We know about these terror tunnels complicating the fighting. Your take on what is unfolding right now?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I joined in the army in 89 to 92. Young soldiers in the first Intifada. Terror is terror everywhere. What we saw in the 7th of October is something I never saw it in my life. I fight against terrorists in the Fatah, in the Hamas, and I know exactly what is it. I lost my officer in the Jenin, in the West Bank, close to me. And always I remember my officer said, before we going in to some buildings where there are civilians, always take care about the civilians, because the civilians, there's no part of the games. But what we saw for the organization of the Hamas is opposite way, opposite side. They kill children, ladies, old ladies, and everything. They saw every civilian. They don't care. The very disaster things they did, and never ever I saw disaster thing like that. And believe me, I saw the deaths many times in the front of my eyes. So the situation is, Israel always want to defend our civilians, and we no choose to attacks in Gaza. We didn't choose that. This happened to us, and we need to fight against the terrorists, and that's what we're doing now in Gaza. We have more than 240 civilians hostage in Gaza, in the tunnels, and even the Red Cross doesn't give any information of that. We fight against the terrorists. We not fight against G to G, government to government. But we have to understood, more than 90% of the Gaza civilians, Palestinians, yes, vote Hamas. And when you vote Hamas, you must understood the ideologics of the Hamas. And you must have understood why you vote the Hamas people, the organization. So I'm really sorry that what I say so far, but if it was my decision, definitely I do worse than what they saw now in Gaza, because we want to bring our children back home. The ladies and the parents, they didn't do nothing. They go to party. They want to celebrate a peace, the dance. That's what they want to do.
There is no doubt, Oren, that the entire nation is traumatized, but trying to process what happened on the 7th of October, a music festival, people butchered in their homes, children in front of their parents, parents burnt in front of their children, horrors that are very difficult to even articulate. And the nation has seen the videos, the nation has understood what you've explained right now. 240 people are still being held by the terror group. You yourself have PTSD from before. Talk to us about what it means for somebody who has already fought in wars here to see what unfolded on the 7th of October, to know that a terror organization managed to breach the security fence and unpack that rampage that is still so difficult to comprehend right now. Your thoughts?
Yes, I suffer from PTSD. My best friend suffer from PTSD, and I'm running this organization, and I'm trying to help those people. We are in the world at the moment, so we know the people suffer from, they get injuries, and we can saw if they lost a hand or legs, we can saw visually, but PTSD is a pure disease. It's something you cannot see it. So I'm sure there's, after the war in Gaza, there's many of even civilian and comeback soldiers, they're going to suffer from PTSD. The situation is really bad. I feel very stressful at the moment when I talk in front of you because I knew what's going to happen next. We are in the war now, but we're going to fight against the war after, so those people suffer from PTSD. And the fight is not just the Hamas. The fight and the war is against Iran. Iran play with two organizations right now, is Hezbollah in the north and Hamas in Gaza Strip. And we need to open the eyes also in the north, because in the north the fight is going to be even worse than what we saw in the Hamas right now.
Certainly a major concern, so many people worried and watching to see what might unfold out of Hassan Nasrallah. Talk to us about the survivors of the 7th of October. What kind of help would your organization be giving to them? Again, too early to even process the gravity of what happened, the scale of what happened, and the immense loss. What kind of assistance would your organization provide?
The first things for the PTSD, the very important is the first 48 hours. Since you saw some traumatic things, you need to go to see a doctor or psychologist or someone like that to talk about it and to clear the stressful, okay? But also we have to know there's a windows for the 30 days, 1 month, for if you not get a treat, then you get a post-PTSD after that. So it's very important the first months, but the situation of war, there's no much people can help to those people, and unfortunately the people saw something very traumatic things, so they're going to suffer from that, from PTSD in the future. I was in Eilat in the 7th of October, and some guys calling me to my phone, I even don't know who is it, and they say they shoot me in my shoulders and I'm under the tanks, please help me, I'm gonna die, please help me. I call everywhere, everyone I know, even the Kobe Shabtai, which is the chief of the police,
right.
And I ask him, please, there's soldiers under the tanks need help. The location is there. I send him the location, send everything. It took like 8 hours until he sent some team to help him, and I'm happy is alive, okay? But imagine how many people asking for help and nobody helped them. So now the government need to open some a system for traumatic peoples. Is going to be like a 100,000 people, civilian and combat soldier, will suffer from PTSD, which is the numbers we never managed that before.
It certainly is a scale that is difficult to comprehend right now, and something I want to pick up on is the fact that what makes this war different is how Hamas has filmed its carnage and actually wants the world to see exactly what it did. It's proud of the atrocities that it committed, but it also means that young people, children, have access to these images. And I'm wondering your take on the damage, long-term and short-term for that matter, of people of all ages seeing these images, seeing this brutality.
In the souls, inside the soul, two of the children of my best friends, 18 years old, 21 years old, kidnapped into Gaza. They're back from Mexico straight away to the festival, for Love Festival Nova, and the boy is 18 years old. We can see him with Hamas in the track, and the girls, she was in the phone with her dad, and she said, Dad, they're shooting me, I'm gonna die, help me, please, please, please. And nobody know what's going on with them. And I saw the parents, her name is Maya and Itai, the children, Regev. The parents, always I'm with them because they need support, emotionally support, of course, but we're trying to get any information about the children. So the parents, inside, I feel like they die, okay, they're dead, because I don't believe if some people know what does it mean, is two of your child inside in the organization of terror like that, and even you don't have any information about them, and I hope we find them and we bring them back home. I definitely trust the IDF, the Shin Bet, and I believe we do exactly what we need to do. We need to clear the Hamas and to kill all the terrorism over there in Gaza Strip, and maybe we hope after that we're going to have a peace around this area in the Middle East.
Well, that certainly is a sentiment of hope, and I only have a few seconds left. Obviously an agonizing time for the families waiting for word on what is happening, and obviously an agonizing time for parents of soldiers knowing exactly, as you described, what may be unfolding soon. But very briefly, there is also a sense of resilience and there is a sense of unity. In just a few seconds, how important is that to the psyche of Israel right now? Just a few seconds.
Sorry, can you repeat again?
How important it is that people stand together. I've got 5 seconds. Your thoughts?
My thought is continue to fight against the Hamas terrorism and not to cut the grass and to destroy all the organization of the Hamas and open the eyes and the nose.
Oren Or Bittoun, thank you for being here in studio. That's a wrap.